Netflix beat Amazon to the purchase of Prodigy Season 2. But what does that mean for a possible Season 3? It's not great. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So we reported a couple of months ago that Amazon and Netflix were both in conversations with Paramount about buying Prodigy Season 2. Now, we believed at the time, thanks to a couple of insiders, that actually Amazon were the front runners. And apparently that was true. Amazon did seem to, at least initially, have the most interesting proposition for Paramount. And Netflix, well, there is a bigger deal involved in that seems to have won through in the end, and to be honest, money. But we'll get to that in a second. First of all, though, the Amazon deal. What were they actually offering? And why did Paramount then actually turn them down? Well, a couple of reasons why it was generally believed by a lot of insiders that it was going to be going to Amazon Prime first were, well, basically, Amazon Prime took Prodigy Season 1 and put it behind a paywall as soon as Paramount took it off Paramount Plus. So it was believed that that would be followed up with Season 2 and then both going on Prime. That obviously is now not going to happen. Now, Amazon did put a cash offer on the table for Prodigy Season 2. That was going to be about 80% of the cost of production. Now, obviously, Paramount were not going to be massively happy about that, but Amazon considered that what they were paying for it to be a fair price for a show that at the end of the day, Paramount didn't even want to put on Paramount Plus. But Amazon were interested and were seriously talking about commissioning a Season 3. Now, that was apparently not going to actually be definite, and it was going to be based on certain performance criteria. So basically, when Prodigy Season 2 went on the platform, if it performed at least this well, then they would commission a Season 3. But that was going to actually be contracted. So Amazon would have been tied into that, and Paramount would have had a very good opportunity to get a Season 3 in production. Now, that would have been quite a reasonable contract. Apparently, the numbers weren't ridiculous, Amazon weren't expecting Prodigy Season 2 to be the most popular TV show on the service that year or anything like that. Apparently, it was all very reasonable, and it would have looked like, to be honest, very likely we could have got a Season 3. But Netflix stepped in. Now, back in 2018, Netflix and Paramount did have a deal for several movies, a couple of TV shows, etc. And Paramount were producing things for Netflix. Warner Brothers have recently struck a deal with Netflix to actually move over to a couple of properties from HBO or Live or Max or whatever that's called this week over to Netflix as well. It does look like Paramount are following suit. Now, what does this mean for Paramount Plus if all of a sudden Paramount are going back to what they were doing a couple of years ago and producing TV shows for Prime, Picard, Lower Decks, etc., and Netflix? Internationally, Discovery did appear on Netflix first. Netflix and Amazon both have a really good working relationship with Paramount, and they have done over a few years. TNG, Enterprise, Voyager, Deep Space Nine were all on Netflix for years. But Paramount over the last few years have been withdrawing all of that from Prime. And even the Picard Season 3, they put it on Paramount Plus first, and then Prime only got it the day later. So Paramount has been really trying to put all its eggs in one basket, Paramount Plus. But it hasn't gone very well, and debts are mounting. We reported here actually a couple of months ago again, Paramount's biggest problem isn't actually that it owes 15 or 16 billion. It's that some of those deals actually end in 2024, and they're going to have to restructure some of their debt. And since they actually took the debt out, interest rates have gone up quite a lot. And actually, their credit rating, their international credit rating, was downgraded slightly 6 months ago. So their debt is going to cost them more. So they're going to end up owing more. A lot of business insiders are actually saying that the sale of Paramount eventually isn't just likely, it's inevitable. And that actually them pumping all of this money into Paramount Plus is a fool's errand. So does this mean that Paramount are going to revert back to its original plan of producing stuff for other services? Well, I'm actually being told that Prodigy was going to Amazon, until about a couple of weeks ago. And then it switched and the Netflix deal took over. Netflix agreed to give them a cash sum that was a little bit higher than the production value. So actually, Paramount will make a little bit of money. And they've also agreed some residuals. So Paramount will actually get more money depending on how popular Prodigy Season 2 and Season 1 will be. There is no agreement about a Prodigy Season 3, but that is still a possibility, but far more unlikely. At the end of the day, Amazon were willing to put that into the contract. Netflix have declined. So why would Paramount go with this? Well, apparently this is going to be part of a much bigger deal that is going to be announced in the next 6 to 8 months. That Paramount are going to be producing material again for Netflix. It supposedly will be a multi-movie and multi-series deal. It could actually even include some of the stuff that's already on Paramount Plus now moving over to Netflix in a very similar deal to what HBO and Warner Brothers have got with Netflix. Could this include other Star Trek properties? Well, I could 100% see older Trek, Star Trek Next Generation, maybe, and a couple of others moving over to Netflix again. Those properties have always done very well for Netflix, and they would be very happy to see them. There are a couple of new TV shows that are in development at the moment, Star Trek Academy, for example, or possibly even the Section 31 TV movie that could potentially go onto Netflix. I imagine in both of those scenarios, they would probably go on Paramount Plus first and then move over to Netflix, or maybe move over to Netflix internationally. But again, that is very possible. And I'm wondering if this could be a way of getting Star Trek Legacy actually funded. The problem that Paramount has with Star Trek at the moment is that they can't afford to make all of the Trek they want to make. So this might be a way for them to mitigate some of those costs and risks. If you get Star Trek Legacy paid for by somebody else, then that works out for the best all around, right? Again, this is something Warner Brothers are doing at the moment. They're trying to produce material for others. Warner Brothers has a really good working relationship with Apple, for example, and produce lots of their movies and lots of their TV series. They're made for Apple by Warner Brothers. These partnerships across studios are a common thing. They've been going for a long time. But because of the streaming wars, a lot of these production companies and a lot of the studios were looking internally, producing stuff for themselves. Those wars have come to an end. Everybody lost. So they're going back to form. They're going back to try to mitigate as many of the risks as possible. And that means Paramount will be looking for other providers again. I actually say no one won the streaming wars. I actually think history is going to show that probably Netflix won it. I actually think Netflix a couple of years ago looking like they were struggling. But now, because their platform, I think, is just so easy to use, you just get what you pay for. It does seem that they're still the most popular of the streaming services. And to be honest, they might actually come out of this the most successful in the end. I think we will be seeing streaming services merging over the next few years. I actually think the Paramount Plus probably will merge with Netflix even. And we probably will just end up with 2 or 3 major streaming platforms rather than I don't even know how many they are at the moment. I actually think that that's probably going to be the future, and let's hope so, because to be honest, there's too damn many at the moment. So guys, get in the comments, tell me what you think. Is this a shame that we're not going to be getting a Prodigy Season 3? Or is that actually an okay sacrifice, considering the possibility of other Star Trek maybe being funded by Netflix, and that's the only way we're going to get it? So basically, if we lose Prodigy but get Legacy, would that be a fair trade-off? I think most people would probably agree. But get into the comments and tell me what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first. And for a small contribution each month that really supports the channel, you get to see them without the adverts and you get a free gift. So you can't say fairer than that. Also, go to scitrek.co.uk, which is our dedicated website where we have articles related to most of our stories, and you get to see them with a little bit more detail for you to digest. Go check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.